No gym, no problem. This is how it kind of relates to Christmas, right? Usually the gym is probably closed on Christmas Day. I want to kind of tie that in, but it's not just about how your gym is closed on Christmas. It also relates to the fact that sometimes you just do not have access to a gym, to gym equipment, to dumbbells, barbells, cables, everything like that. And so I wanted to go over how you can actually get a good workout with just simple body weight exercises or household items or just using what you can, right? And that's pretty much what I wanted to focus on. So we'll go with the overview a little bit. Christmas is in a few days, as we know, which means most gyms are probably going to be closed. And so I thought this was the perfect opportunity to talk about all kinds of home exercises for every muscle group, right? So that on Christmas or literally any other day where your gym may be closed, maybe you're traveling or you just literally have no access to any gym or any equipment at all, you know exactly how you can still get an amazing workout, right? For me personally, say for example, I go travel. There's a hotel gym, right? Some of them are just trash. It's a room, a hotel room that they just took the beds out and threw a couple dumbbells in and a bench, and they call that a hotel gym. And that's okay. I'll take that over nothing, right? But for me, I'm tested sometimes. I got to figure out what I can do with what I have access to, right? And it's been fun. I've made it definitely work for me. But again, that's my point with you guys is I want you to be able to create your own program based on what you have access to, no matter where you are. That's my main goal with today's presentation, right? Push-up variations. Let's go through them all. There's wide grip, obviously, right? That's going to put a lot of emphasis on the chest, of course. There's neutral. That's going to be just pretty much shoulder width apart, and that's going to bring in chest, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of triceps too, right? Close grip. That's going to be triceps, chest, and shoulders. Decline. So that's obviously when your feet are elevated, right? And this is going to kind of hit that upper chest if you're pushing with your feet elevated behind you. It's going to kind of put an emphasis on the upper chest. Incline, this is, obviously, if you have a chair, you're going to put your hands on the chair, your feet on the ground, and you're in an inclined position. That's going to hit a little bit of the lower, but obviously chest oriented. You can do explosive push-ups, right? So maybe you go down slow and you explode up. Maybe even do the clap push-ups if you can do those, right? Slow push-ups, obviously, so much harder if you really emphasize the speed that you're going at, right? If you do push-ups, if you were to drop down right now and just go for a 5 second eccentric and maybe even a second concentric portion, it's difficult. And so maybe that could be a fun challenge too. Archer push-ups. Does anybody know what an archer push-up is? Or if you have any guess, that's
I
fine.
don't. I'm
These
not familiar
are,
with
I
them.
love these. It's kind of like a fly and a press mixed, like a chest fly and a chest press mixed. And I can actually go right here and show you guys, right? So I like, any of,
No.
let's do this one right here on the bottom right. So one hand is obviously you're pressing and the other you're out here, right? And it's kind of stretching out that one and you're pressing with this one. And then you switch and go on the other side. And it's kind of like this, right? And I seriously love these. They feel great. Let's get Rachel in here. There we go. I think Rachel's in. But like I was saying, I love archer push-ups. It's like a stretch, a fly, and a press mixed. So these are very, very fun, very difficult as well. Spider-Man push-ups, these are super fun. I've got another example. So you go down and one knee, for example, comes to your elbow, right? And then you press up, feet straight out in the back, just like a regular push-up. And then you go down and you bring your other knee to your elbow and back up. And you kind of alternate pretty much just like this one here, right? Again, very difficult. Brings in the core more than just a regular push-up. And then
It reminds me of those mountain climbers I did when I used to do those hit workouts with Craig.
yeah, right. It's exactly that, except obviously your arms are bent when you bring that knee towards your elbow, right? Instead of just having the arm straight out, mountain climbers where you're moving your knees, you go down, bring that knee up, press up, down, bring the other one. But yeah, that's a great relationship there. But in terms of staggered push-ups, very simple. A regular push-up is like this, staggered, you're just gonna stagger your hands. So you do a push-up this way. and then you do a push-up this way. These are super fun too. I've done these in the past. Eventually, you can get to a point where you push and you switch in the air, and then you land here, and then you push just like that. Those are super fun too. Chest flies. I mean, if you do have dumbbells, obviously chest flies are a great exercise, even if they're light dumbbells, right? You can press a lot of weight, but when it comes to flies, you use less weight. You should be, right? You shouldn't be able to press 100-pound dumbbells and then be able to fly them as well. It just doesn't work like that. It's a movement where you need to use lighter weight. So if you do have lighter dumbbells, for example, at your house, flies are perfect with dumbbells. Bands, right? You can use a resistance band and still do flies, get a good range of motion there and a good exercise. And then, of course, heavy objects, right? I mean, basically, if you're out in the wilderness, you find a log that can be your bench press. You lay on that thing, you get some heavy rocks. I mean, you could probably figure it out. I think I've done it in the past, so that could be a fun challenge too. Um, and then chest pullovers. Where I'm trying to think where I put an exercise that I wanted to talk about. Maybe I didn't put it on here. Chest pullovers. Do you guys know what this is? It's you can either do it for lats or chest depending on where you put the weight and everything like that. But it's when you're laying on the edge of a bench. Say a bench press goes this way, usually you lay on top of it this way. You're gonna lay on top of it this way, so your upper back is just on the edge of the bench, and then you bring that weight back, stretch, and then you pull it right up above your eyes. Has anyone seen that exercise before?
You have them on mine, or you used to have those on
Yeah,
mine.
you've had it
Yeah.
before.
That's
Matt,
how you fell.
Shut up.
yeah, but they're not the best. I think a lot of people used to do them in like the 80s, 90s when bodybuilding was just on the come up. And you'd see all the big guys doing this exercise. Everyone was like, okay, if they're big and they're doing that, I gotta try it too. But it's honestly not the best exercise, but some people really do like it. I've tried it. I don't like it that much. But if you have a heavy object, you have a log outside in the wilderness, you could get a pretty good exercise from it like that. Um, the other one that I was thinking about when I was talking about if I added it in here is those cross body I forget what they're even called. I don't know what to call them, but you have a dumbbell, and instead of just a front raise like this for the shoulder, you kind of bring it up across your body, and that kind of activates your chest. Even if you guys try it right now, I'm just bringing my arm across my body. Talking about back now, the obvious one is pull-ups, right? The best body weight exercise for your back. If you have a door frame that's strong enough, I mean, I think I do in my house. I could grab both sides of it. I can do a pull-up there. You guys can try that. Or, I mean, a simple doorway pull-up bar. You can get one. It's like super cheap. So if you were planning on having a couple weeks of home workouts, I totally recommend getting one. But that's good for there for pull-ups. That's obviously the best one, number one. Second one is table rows. As you can see on this right side, I'm gonna try and zoom in on that one, maybe. Table rows. If you have a strong enough table, you obviously put yourself under that table and then you have your hands and you just pull your chest up to that tabletop and then back down. I love this one. When I go on vacation and they have a treadmill, I grab the two sides, the arm rails of the treadmill, and I just pull myself up that way. Great back exercise. Towel rows, these are pretty good. You can do them like this. You put it around or in a doorway maybe, and you can pull yourself towards that door. Or that's one variation. The other one I was talking about when I put this is right here. You're laying down on your stomach. You have a towel out in front of you, and you kind of just bring it towards your chest. It's not the best exercise because you don't have any tension pulling away from you when you pull that down. But if you're pulling against and away with that towel, it's kind of a good exercise and it's better than nothing. Next is Superman's. We've all seen this one. It's for lower back. You're laying on your stomach. You lift everything, your upper body, your legs, and just your core midsection area is on the floor. And then you go back down and you lift up, and that kind of activates that lower back. Shrugs, heavy objects. I mean, you can do shrugs easily. Rear delt holds. I think I made this one up. I don't know if I'm the first one to ever do it, but I feel like I am. But this is just like this. right? Everything is really on the ground except your upper back. You kind of push into the ground. And I figured this out back in 2020 when I was working out at home. I had to get something to activate my rear delt. I didn't want to use the bands anymore. So I kind of just pressed against the ground. And I figured out that the isometric exercise actually activated it pretty well. So this is a fun one. I've had this exercise on a couple people's programs. Matt, did I ever have this one on yours?
I think you might have had something very similar to this. I don't recall having this one specifically,
Okay. Yeah.
but I think it was like in the early days when I was doing a lot of home workouts and there was stuff like this because you had like the pike push-ups and
Yep.
some unique stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll say it again. I don't know if I'm the first to ever do it, but I feel like I am. I don't think I've seen anyone else do it, but it's a pretty good exercise. And
Better copyright that shit.
yeah, exactly. Right. Um, Lastly, here, bent over rows, and you can do this with rocks, with logs outside, with towels. You can grab a towel, you can put a ton of heavy stuff in it, for example, and then sort of wrap it up like a Tootsie Roll, and then kind of row it that way. I've done that in a hotel gym before. I've done rocks outside, a heavy rock, and I'm just bringing it to my chest. I've done logs. I mean, I love outdoor lifts, as you can tell. I've gone camping, and I had to get in a good workout. You find a tree branch pretty flat. Easy pull-ups right there. So no excuses
I
for sure.
I think in one of your stories you had like an outcropping of rock and you were doing pull-ups on that sucker.
Exactly, man. I knew that was gonna be a sweet video, so I just grabbed it, told my friend to start recording, busted out some pull-ups. But pull-ups outdoors always feels great. It feels like you're a superhuman, honestly. Biceps, very, very simple. I mean, it's the only thing a bicep can do is really this and supinate, but it's hard to supinate if you don't really have a dumbbell, right? So it's basically elbow flexion. And this, all you're gonna do for that is chin-ups or bicep pull-ups. One time when I just had a pull-up bar at my house, nothing else, I wanted to hit biceps, all I would do is a chin-up, right? Underhand grip, but I wouldn't fully extend when I went all the way down. I didn't want my lats. I just wanted my biceps. So I would keep my chest up. I would only extend my arms as far as they could go. Not everything, right? Just here. And then I pull up and just with my biceps and then back down. Obviously, I couldn't fully negate lat activation, but it felt really good for the biceps. So chin ups or bicep pull ups, very, very good. Really, any curl, if you have a resistance band, rocks, towels, any heavy object, suitcase. I've done a suitcase before, really good. And then any isometric. This is kind of hard to think about, but if you have like a super heavy desk or something and you can kind of stand next to it and just pull against that desk with your biceps and just hold it there, press against it as hard as you can, and it's not going to move. Pretty good isometric exercise there for your biceps. Triceps, of course, body weight exercises first off, close grip push-ups, amazing if you can get all the way down and all the way up. Obviously, it's harder when just your feet are on the ground. So if you want to bring your knees down to the ground and your feet, you can get a lot more range of motion. It's a little bit easier. You can do more reps. Forearm extensions or vertical or lateral. Pretty much it's this way. So you have your forearms on the ground and you're just extending your arms up. And then you come back down and you can either do it this way. And I've also seen people do it this way. So they put their arms on the ground like that and then they extend their arms this way. This one's a lot harder. I don't usually do these just because I don't like how my arms are stacked. I feel like one is going to be working harder than the other. So maybe if I would do it, I would switch after a couple sets. But either way, these are really good exercise. Very, very difficult. Um, Skull crushers. This one's going to be hard to explain. So one time, the best example that comes to my head, I was outside and I had a windowsill of the outside of the house. And so that was just kind of a lip on the outside of the house. So I would grab that and then I'd go down, touch my head to the house, and come back up. And it would be like a skull crusher in a sense. Does that make sense? So I would go down, insane stretch, actually. I cannot lie. All the way down, touch the top of my head to the house, and then extend back up. Super, super good. Very difficult as well. And then, of course, dips, right? If you have a bench or a chair, Easy dips like that, perfect tricep exercise. And of course, some others, overhead extensions. If you have a resistance band, any heavy object you could press, a backpack, a suitcase, um, towel extensions, and curls. One time I was with, sorry, the soccer team. And I was with my teammate, obviously, and he had one end of the towel and I had the other. And as I pushed down with the towel, he would pull up, right? So it'd be kind of like a teeter-totter with our arms, and I'd be going down and he'd be pulling up, and I'd resist up while he was pulling up with his biceps. And then when he was in his eccentric portion for his biceps, I was in my concentric for my triceps. Does that make sense? It was awesome. It's actually really, really good. You have to find someone with equal strength. Otherwise, you're going to easily be able to outstrength them like that. But good exercise there. Shoulders, pike push-ups. As Matt said, who knows what a pike push-up is besides Matt, just because you've done them before? Anybody know? That's fine. A
They're a
pike,
great way to fall over.
yeah, a pike push-up. So a regular push-up. You're like this, right? It's a flat back. You're going down, that's chest. A pike push-up, you're going to bring your hips up behind you so that instead of a flat back, you're going to bring your hips up and you're sort of at an A. So your head is down here and you're pressing from this motion. And this is going to put more emphasis on your shoulders, right? Rather than your chest like that, if that makes sense. I don't think I put it on here. Let me look it up. Just like that. Does that make sense? Really, really good exercise. Puts the emphasis from the chest to the shoulders. You go all the way down, you touch the top of your head to the ground, and you push all the way back up. Crazy exercise there. Rear delt holds, obviously, that's going to bring your rear delts, your shoulders, and your back. That's why I put it on both shoulders and back. Really good exercise. And then, of course, like everything on here so far, if you have resistance bands, you can easily do some good movements there, some rocks, some logs. I've done bent over rows for rear delt activation. That's basically from a rear delt, you just want to bring those elbows wider and use lighter weight. And if you do a bent over row that way, that can bring in the rear delts, towels, everything like that. Legs is a good one. So tons of squatting variations, right? For the quads, body weight and neutral squat. That's just basically squats at hips width. Wide stance, bringing those feet out wider. Sissy squats. Can somebody explain what a sissy squat is? It's kind of hard to explain, but does anybody know? Sissy
I did them
squat.
once.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was with Matt or Juan when we did them. So, so hard. But let's look it up again. Like this. Sissy squat is like that. So you're usually when I do, I have a wall or something so I can help balance myself. But this is exactly, I mean, this is great form right here. Instead of just squatting where you usually have everything stacked upon each other, your knees, your toes, your hips, everything like that, you're leaning way back to create a stretch along those quad muscles in the front there. You're going down, touching your calves to your hamstrings, and then extending straight back up. You come down and straight back up. Super hard exercise. I love these. If I have no equipment, this is my go-to because for me, bodyweight squats are a little bit too easy, right? So this is that next step up when you build some great strength. It makes it a lot harder to do just a regular squat.
I mean, that looks painful looking at that.
It's great. I mean, if you have knee problems, it's probably not too good for you, but if you don't, awesome, amazing quad exercise. Juan, what do you think about those ones?
They're amazing. They're hard. You have to balance. I like them. They're
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, they're great. They're great.
Are
So
I
are
definitely
you
took them
able to
hard.
are you able to do those right now, Juan, or are you restricted from those?
I don't think I can right now.
Okay.
about 3 weeks you could do them. Easy. Just need a little bit more time.
Don't
But
tempt him. He'll start today.
yeah, yeah. But those are sissy squats. Obviously, a regular split squat is going to be pretty good. Bulgarian split squat, which is that back foot elevated. Side lunges, that's obviously like a front lunge, but you're obviously bringing that leg sideways and squatting down with one, maybe alternating. Pulse squats, so this is just a regular squat, whether that be neutral, wide, close, sissy squat. It's just pulsing up and down rather than that full range of motion. Because maybe you go up all the way, you rest there, then you squat back down, then you rest at the top. Pulse reps are great. You're just getting smaller range of motion, but way more time under tension. Pistol squats, somebody's got to know what a pistol squat is. Who knows what a pistol squat is?
I've heard of them. I've never seen one done.
Are they just quick ones?
That's a
Um,
good guess. It's a single leg squat.
ooh,
Pretty much that simple. I'll actually look it up. I think I spelled it right. There we go.
A postal quat? Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Look at it. There you go. Pistol squat. So hard. Lots of strength, lots of
Oh,
mobility in the hips. I could do these, but not pretty because my mobility in my hips is not the best, and so I kind of fall over. If I can hold on to something, I can do it in terms of strength, right? But like I said, this workout or this exercise, a lot of strength and a lot of mobility combined into one. Pistol squats, single leg squat extensions. I have these somewhere. I can't remember where I put them. Oh, they're right there. Look at that. Lucky guess. So you have your foot elevated on something. That other leg is not bent. It's fully straight. And all you're doing is bending down on that one knee, touching your heel to the ground, and then extending back up straight. Lowering down, extending back up straight. These are really, really good for knees. If you have knee problems, this is going to strengthen those ligaments in there. Um, Not too big of a range of motion, right? So it's building that strength up. These are pretty good. Jump squats, very self-explanatory, very difficult. Hamstrings, so these walkouts, I've had this exercise on a lot of your guys' programs, but I can actually look this one up on Trainer Eyes right here. So just like that, very, very difficult. They call them glute bridge walkout. I feel them on my glutes, but if I have my body fully straight and I straighten out my legs all the way, tippy tippy all the way out straight, and then back up, super small steps, hamstrings burn. So I really, really love these for hamstrings and for glutes. Really good. Sliders, I've had these on your guys' program before. Images. So just like this, right? For example, this one right here. This is exactly what I look like when I do them. I'm on hardwood, I get a towel under my heels, and I slide out and I slide back in, bringing my heels to my glutes, and then I slide out, I slide back in. Does that make sense? Perfect. Yeah, these are really
yeah. I
difficult.
usually will lie like my back on more like a rug.
Hmm.
So that way kind of it's I'm my back is less likely to slide, then I'm not, you know, oozing along the floor. Kind of
Exactly.
keeps my body stationary, and then that way and then the towel, my legs can move.
Exactly. That's how I do it in my basement where the carpet meets the hardwood. My back is
Yep.
on the carpet and then my feet are on that hardwood. Really, really good exercise. And then of course, if you have any resistance bands, super heavy objects, you can do some RDLs potentially if you can hold it, right? Bands, you can do some hamstring curls with that. Glutes, squats, if you do glute focused squats, glute focused, lying glute extension. So I mean, just laying on your stomach and you're just extending your leg behind you using that glute. Glute bridges, single or double, right? You can do it either. These are pretty good for that glute strength, but our glutes are powerful muscles, so if you're doing a glute bridge without any weight, it's a little bit too easy. You need something to weigh you down, or you do those single leg glute bridges where one is on the floor, the other leg is straight out, and you're kind of holding it on one side, and then you switch. That's going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
Bands,
you can always just put like a couple dumbbells on your belly and
That's
that'll do it.
better than nothing. Yeah, or a resistance band across your stomach as well, and that's going to add some resistance, obviously. So that's good as well. And then of course walkouts, right? Like I said, those are glutes and hamstring focused. And then for adductors and adductors, the adductors are in the insides of your legs. Abductors are for your hips and the IT band and the outsides of your legs. All right, so first off, Copenhagen holds or pulses. Let me show you guys this Copenhagen exercise. These are hard, just like this. Juan, you've had these before. You remember these?
Yes,
These are hard, right?
those
So
are hard.
obviously the elbow on the ground, the right leg in this picture on the bench, and the other one against it. That other leg, that bottom leg isn't really doing anything, but that right leg, that's holding tension. That's holding your whole body weight up almost, and that's really gonna focus on that inner adductor and the inner thigh, right? And then of course you hold it there, and then you switch over sides. Super good exercise if you don't have that machine where you can bring your legs together, right? Copenhagen, wide stance, or split squat pulses. If you have a really wide stance, this is going to work on your glutes, obviously, but also bring in those adductors in the center. Med ball squeeze glute bridges. So if you have a medicine ball, you put it between your VMO, the insides of your legs, and you squeeze your legs together against that ball, and then you do a glute bridge. Really good exercise, actually, for stability and functionality. Lying hip abduction. This is when you're laying on your side and you just bring your leg up, right? And work on that hip, right? Acting as this is my hip and my leg. That's going to focus on your hip. Single leg balance holds. I wouldn't say this is the best, but I mean, if you were to stand on one leg right now with a little bit of a bend in your knee, that right or that affected leg is really actually going to start to feel it. So those are pretty good. And then, of course, if you have any resistance bands, these are really going to help. Lastly, for abs, planks, these are all my favorites, right? For abs, there are probably a billion exercises you could do or look up and find, but not all of them are actually the best. For me, my favorites are planks. On your hands, on your forearms, or of course on your side, right? Leg raises, either lying where you are on your back, you have something to hold your hands and everything, and then you just lift your legs above you. Those are good. Or obviously hanging leg raises, those are good. Toe touches when you're on your back, your feet are out up above you, and you crunch up and you touch your feet and come back down. I love those. V-ups, I looked these up. Here we go. There we go. V-ups. Very hard. You start all the way out, extend, and you come up and you touch your toes and your hands together so that only your glutes are touching the floor, and you come back down. Super difficult. The next one, mountain climbers, we talked about those. That's like a plank, except your feet and your knees are trying to touch every elbow every time. Those are pretty fun. And then dead bugs. These are hard. Where did I just see them? So it's right here on this right side. So you're on your back, arms out in front of you, legs bent at a 90 degrees, and then you bring the opposite leg down and the opposite hand. So if my legs are up and my hands are up, my right hand is going to go down. So is my left leg. It's going to go straight out, just like this bottom picture. And then you come back up, and then you switch, and then you come back up and you switch. Easy at first, but very difficult as you keep going. Super great with core stability and strength. I love these ones. Yeah, whether you need to come up with a workout on a fly is what that's supposed to say. But yeah, again, I want to challenge you guys to just think about a few exercises with no equipment, but you can still get some good stimulus so that when you need it, you're able to think of that on your own whenever the time comes.